And feel free to eat during the show.
Not with
Yeah. Oh.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Been there. Been there. We're starting, Dad. By the way, we're starting again. Yeah, I'll fix it. I'll fix it, or I'll just let it run like this.
Oh, we already started?
Alec has done a countdown 5 different times.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Father, Son, and Title Show podcast, episode number 5. No, number
7.
6. Number 6.
7.
Number 7. 6 or 7. One of the two. We're just happy to be here today. We have a great guest with us, and we want to get right into it. But first things first, we want to thank our official sponsor of the show, Jersey Mike's. Ruby and the gang over at Jersey Mike Subs right here in Bedford. Please go visit them. Go buy some sandwiches. Tip really well. And also, we have a quick announcement for them as well.
You are struggling today.
Sorry, people.
Hey, Jersey Mike's Ruby is supporting this year the Special Olympics USA Games out in Orlando. So go out there as you buy sandwiches. There's an opportunity for you to give. They're selling things, but part of the profit will go to the Special Olympics this year. But get down there because they start at the end of this month. And so make sure you get over there quickly and support Ruby and the Special Olympics this year.
There you go. Thanks so much for the sandwiches and for lunch, Ruby. And one quick announcement. If you can see on the other side here behind our guests, we have a new some new media tools and marketing tools. There's two good-looking guys right there. Man,
Our wives say. No one else has said.
I'm going to have a hard time focusing on the show.
It when I came,
That's true. That's true. You did like it.
I'll have a hard time focusing on the show looking at ourselves today. But
That's why
we
you're
will
stumbling
get through
everywhere.
it. Yes. So today we are happy and excited to have Latrice Womack of TD Realty, and we're happy to have you. So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And there you go. Our audience is very happy. Yeah, not too big of applause for her. You know, we don't want to overwhelm, but we do want to give you a good round of applause there. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're looking forward to getting to know you and see what you are doing, not only in life, but also in the real estate world. So thank you so much. All right. You have something to say?
No. You do that every show. I should have something to say.
I just feel you looking at me, you know?
No, I missed last week, so I'm just happy. I'm happy to be back in the room.
That is right. That's right.
Yeah, I had a baby. But this podcast is not about me. Thank you. But
we are excited, though.
Feel free to send me deals to help support these babies.
Yes. Yes. Extra baby, yes, needs more deals now. So, so yes, we're excited about Emery Alva joining us to the family, and so we're happy to have her. She's so cute. So I can't wait to see her again. Now, actually, who we're talking, she actually does look like Amber, I think.
Do you think so?
I think she looks exactly like Amber, yes. Riley's another story, but
Riley's very white.
Yeah.
And
yes.
And yeah, Amber's very lucky that she does have my face. And I have an over lip. Like a Simpson lip. I don't know if you ever noticed that, but Riley has that very heavy. Yeah, that's okay.
Yes, very true. So, no, great new addition. So we're very happy. So, Latrice, we'll get right into the show. Once again, we're happy to have you here. And the first thing we'd like to do is just find out a little bit of who you are, what you do, what you're involved in, the community, your family, things like that outside of real estate. And I know a lot of times they intertwine because it becomes a lifestyle of just real estate and life, and you're always doing it. There's no set time like a normal job, as far as a 9 to 5. But we like to just find out who you are. So tell us, what you're doing right now, what you got going on.
Okay. Well, again, thank you for having me. I do appreciate it. I am Latrice Womack. I've been here in Texas for 17 years. So I'm actually from California.
Woo, woo. All right.
Yeah, I was just telling before we started recording that I am a mother of 4. I have 4 boys, 4 sons. They're not really boys anymore. And 2 were born in California, 2 were born in Texas. I have a 24-year-old. I have a 19-year-old who's at UNM right now. I have a sophomore at Mansfield High and an 8th grader at Worley. So all of them love sports. I played sports coming up, so that I love that has carried over because they keep me busy with sports.
Sure.
But Josiah, funny enough, is at UNM on an academic scholarship. So he's my kid. He was always in the pre-AP classes and AP classes, and just paid off to where he was able to get his education paid for. So thankful to the Lord for that.
Very nice.
My oldest graduated from West Texas A&M in 2020, so he's back in Mansfield and just kind of working. And Hezekiah, that again, sports is their plan A, but plan B would be pediatrician. And for Jeremiah, he's into becoming a vet. So that is really what kind of consumes my life, is just dealing with the boys. I've actually been married to my best friend for 20 years next month. We've been together for 22, but we were literally best friends for 10 years before we started dating. So I've known my husband since I was 13. So I've known him over 30 years. Yep. So he is literally, we've grown up together. So that's pretty cool. I do a podcast myself as well. Just it's more my YouTube channel, but my best friend and I do have a podcast, and my husband does all my editing and whatnot there. And so outside of, I'm an active member at Bethlehem Baptist Church in Mansfield as well. So I sing in the choir there. I'm on the First Friends ministry. Will actually be singing this weekend tomorrow at the Pickle Parade. I don't know if you all knew about that coming up in Mansfield.
Yeah,
so Best Made Pickles started in Mansfield. So they hold a St. Patrick's Day / Pickle Parade. I think the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders are going to be there this year, but it's just going to be lined with vendors. Streets closed off there. My church has they sell turkey legs, smoked turkey legs. It's called Holy Smoke. So
like that. Smoke.
So
like that, yes.
They will be there. So I don't know exactly when the podcast will post, but it'll be after. It'll probably be over. But I'll definitely be volunteering there this weekend. So try to do what I can in the community. I'm on a couple of boards and a foundation with Arlington Board of Realtors. So that's where that kind of intertwines with my life, because with that, like, we have a cleanup mission coming up next Saturday at a particular home where it's just outside work, so getting the yard, the hedges, like, weed removal, all types of stuff. So I've been able to volunteer with that. So I try to stay pretty busy in that, and then that's my outside of real estate. And then real estate is just trying to figure out social media. Oh my gosh, that
Join the
beast
club.
in and of itself. So I have to compliment how consistent you all are with your Monday posts and your Tuesday posts, and the information that Christian sends over to me to help me be able to have information to post. And you all are really consistent, so I do love that. That is where I tend to struggle, is like maybe batching reels or having like a solid social media plan where things are coming out consistently, because I know that's the name of the game. But I do love what I do, and I'm big on education and bringing value from that standpoint. So that is really the heart of my business, just making sure that someone understands what they're getting into when it comes to home ownership. So I want them to be excited at the closing table and not scared to sign these documents because they're going into this largest purchase of their life. I want them to have, throughout that process, to have understood it, so when they get there, it's all about excitement. So I have recently partnered with a financial consultant, because I do always like to have different strong business partners. I know I talk with my hands a lot, and they're not the smallest, so okay. So now Christian's gonna be looking at me like, hey, your hands are big.
Next time I shake your hand, that's why you don't shake my hand.
No, I always hug you like, oh, there you go. I'm not gonna point it out.
I'm gonna feel it on my shoulder.
But
Fiber from now on.
don't run from it, it's okay. But I always, I get clients. Obviously, you get people from all walks of life who are ready to go right now, who understand home ownership. Excuse me for a second. My allergies are bothering me.
No, that's all right. That's all right. No worries.
We'll edit
Alec,
this
I'm
part
just
out.
giving you a little
Yeah.
editing to do. Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
there we go.
Well, it's not him. It's me.
Oh,
It's me.
okay. I didn't
Yeah.
realize that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, Christian.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Mark
what I
that
was
for me.
I was saying is that we get people from all walks of life, those who understand home ownership and how it can tie to wealth building, and they've been saving and they're ready to go, and then you get those who understand home ownership but don't know where to begin. So that's a big part of my passion, is being able to help people just from where they are be able to move to the next step. So we're kind of tied or get acclimated to, okay, let me have you talk to my lender and figure out kind of where you stand. And then the lender partners that I work with have simulators, so it's like, oh, pay this, pay that, and then we'll get you mortgage ready. Well, me partnering with a financial consultant has put me in the position where we're looking at your entire financial picture, and so you're not only mortgage ready, but you have money saved, and you're able to just still maintain like that house once you get into it. So outside of the house, being prepared for those expenses of being a homeowner, it's like, okay, if my car messes up or if I got to get my kid through school, like you have a solid financial plan to where you're able to live, as well. So that's a big passion of mine. It's just that whole, I don't want to just get you in the house and then be like, oh, I got him into a house, and then that's it, but I need you to be able to stay in it.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not just about making the mortgage payment. You still got a lot of other payments and life to live, right? So
yes.
All right, so that's good. I want to backtrack though real quick
sounds
because
good.
you said something I want to I want to
What
ask
is
a
it?
question
I'm
on.
curious.
Okay.
So
to
you
think
said
about.
you were in the choir.
Oh,
Which
I will not sing for you.
No,
Do not ask. Oh.
No. I didn't even thought of that.
Oh, my bad.
But if you
Okay.
want to,
No,
you
don't
want
know,
your
we
solo
could.
moment right here.
We
Sorry.
could. Yeah. No, so I too have had my fair share of being in a choir, a church choir when I grew up, and so I
modest.
I actually had a solo at one time, so not, enough said about me. It's not about me. This show is not about me.
Clearly.
So no. Hey, stop looking So I was gonna ask on the choir part, is it a choir like where you put on the robes and the whole shebang?
Yes.
Okay.
So there's multiple choirs at my church.
Multiple?
Depending
Wow.
on the Sunday. So we have a mass choir, so that's literally everyone from all the choirs can sing on first Sunday, and that's where we're wearing our robes. Second Sunday is typically the youth choir, but depending on first service, because we have two services as well. So 7:45 and 11 a.m. So the 7:45 service here lately, it's been the praise team, which I'm actually on now.
It says 7:45 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all,
Yeah.
your
Yeah, we are old
ready
school. Like
for
it's
that?
7:45 service, and then you can get breakfast, and then we still do Sunday school, and then we do 11 o'clock service. So yeah, we are. But our church is like 150 some odd years old as well. So
wow.
yeah,
That's
it's
amazing.
So yeah, it's pretty
Wow.
amazing. And our pastor is the mayor of Mansfield as well. So.
Wow.
Yes, so he's going into his second term.
Okay.
But so for second Sunday, first service is praise team, and then the youth sing, and then third Sunday is men. They sing both services, and then fourth is the sanctuary choir. So that's just kind of a select, not a select group, but it's supposed to be a little smaller than mass, and we wear our robes then as well. So we have stoles, and so on first Sunday you wear it on the white side, and then on fourth Sunday you can wear it on the gold side.
You sing every Sunday, or are you first?
Pretty
and fourth?
much,
Okay.
depending on what's needed. So this month, yes, I will sing at all 4 Sundays in March because the men are not singing this coming third Sunday. So the praise team had to step in and do both services. So I will by Monday I won't have a voice because I'm singing on
Man.
Saturday at the Pickle Parade and then both services
Oh,
on
you got the
Sunday.
parade
So
too?
Oh yeah, the parade. I want to know more about that.
Yes.
Oh man! Wow. Okay.
I'm gonna have to visit. Not
Yeah.
at 7:45, but I'll visit the second service.
Yeah, 11. Come on by
I
for
can't
sure.
ask 7:45.
Yeah, I'm not awake at
Struggle.
7:45 on
Yeah.
Sundays.
I know.
The church where I go to, it has so you have Saturday and Sunday services.
Okay.
So Saturdays are like at 4 and I think like 6. I think
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. And then Sunday you have 9, 11, and 1.
Okay.
So I try to make that 11 one, but sometimes I just gotta.
But then you know that there's
push.
a 1 o'clock, so it's kind of like, well, if I don't make 11.
Yeah, like I love the options, but sometimes they don't work, the way they're supposed to work,
Absolutely.
And yeah, so lately I've been showing up at the 1, but I like the middle. I like the 11 o'clock one.
I do like 7:45 because I'm a big sports fan. So football season, I could do 7:45, and then I could do Sunday school, and then I'm home for games for the rest of the day.
Home to your idolatry at home.
I'm not going to agree with that. No. We just gonna say go 49ers.
We
and
will
leave it at
speak against that. Is what we will do.
Absolutely. As you text me, go whoever your team is. I don't even remember.
Exactly.
Yeah, go Chiefs. Like no, 49ers all the way.
Well, I grew up in it's apostolic, but it's like Pentecostal church.
Okay.
When I was young, and so it was predominantly Hispanic church, but we really are at least the youth kind of segment kind of followed more of a gospel trend. So we had choirs and all that stuff, and so it was pretty fun. I mean, it was fun. The only thing I never liked was some of the choirs. We wore robes, and I never wore a robe. I was like, when the choir went to that level, I was like, I'm out. I don't want to do the robe thing. I don't mind wearing my suit and tie.
Right. And I will say, like, I've never been against robes just because I was in Sunshine Band, like when I was in California and little, and we had to wear robes, so I've always been used to it. But the thought behind it, as far as it being uniform and not being distracting to the congregation when people are wearing so many different things, that makes a big difference, I feel like. But with the praise team, we don't wear the robes. We'll like come up with like a color scheme or something like that. Again, to be uniform. And it's like pretty, like, okay, you can't be, sleeveless and modest, so, it teaches you some discipline, I guess.
That's why you didn't like it, because you brag about how into fashion you were.
No, no.
Latrice, I'll send you a single later.
Okay.
No,
I'm gonna find it.
No, but I will say that there is, when you brought up that point about the robe as more of a covering for those, there's always some people in the choir, right, that are just a little crazy and want to wear something just bam, it's out there. And so, you always got that. So, no, that just piqued my interest because it brought me back when I was doing the choir. And I loved it. I don't listen to, like, gospel music anymore, but, my roots were that, where it was just all gospel and Mississippi Mass Choir.
Oh, my gosh, I love Mississippi Mass Choir.
Hezekiah Walker and Kirk Franklin, of course. He's the man right there on that. So he's probably the only one that I will hear from time to time is Kirk Franklin.
Okay.
Just because he has a different kind of style.
He does.
Yeah, he doesn't make sense to me.
Kirk Franklin?
Yeah.
Well, he's like, we won't get into that,
Yeah, it's kind of the little fine line situation, with him. Because I remember when I was still going to the club when I was younger, there was like a Kirk Franklin song they would play like in the club. And I was like, is that Kirk Franklin? Like, I am not dancing to that. Like, nope, I refuse. Let me stay in my secular mind. No, just
It didn't make you leave and repent?
It did not.
You just waited the 4 minutes, huh?
I was just sober enough to catch on that it was Kirk Franklin, and then I was like, let me
just get through.
The song was only a couple minutes.
So I'll test to see how far back you go on your music knowledge on the Christian Forum.
Okay.
Is my first cassette, because it wasn't a CD. My first cassette that I bought was a group called The Followers of Christ.
Nope.
Never heard of them?
I don't think so.
And then probably the second one was probably the Winans.
Okay, Winans. I know them. Yep.
Winans, right? Yeah,
well, I will have to tell you, like, for me and music, I do love music, but I'm like a radio person. Like, I wouldn't buy music. Any CDs I had, like, I took them from my then best friend, now husband. Like, if I was like, "Ooh, I like that CD," then I would like take it from him. Brandy and probably Monica were probably the only ones that I like purchased. And I might have purchased Mississippi Mass Choir because we didn't have like YouTube like that, and it would be I would have my devotion in the morning. So so I really. I know a lot of words and stuff to songs, but it's typically like radio version if it's, not gospel or whatever. And so it's so funny that I know a lot of words to songs because I didn't really buy music. It's just, I don't know. I just know the words. But I have a hard time sometimes, like, maybe knowing like what CD it's from or what year it's from or like who did it or whatever, because I just made like a song, but I never bought the whole CD,
Yeah, no, I get that.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I remember having to buy cassettes all the time. Like every time I have some money, I do buy a cassette. You know, you have this whole pack of cassettes with all these different artists and how things have changed. Now,
Right.
Now you just have this,
You
right?
just have
You know,
that. I know.
that's
Well,
it.
my best friends growing up, like one of them, her dad was a DJ, so they always had music and all the time. And then one of my other ones, like she bought a lot of music. So you remember the CD carriers, and so like we would be going somewhere like hanging out, and I would have to like get it
Oh
from
my
underneath
gosh.
the seat, and I'm like flipping through, like what are we gonna listen to, like to find the right CD. Like that was so crazy because she bought a lot of music, so she had like multiple like CD cases, and I'm like, oh gosh, that might be why I didn't buy music like this. You got to be organized to keep up with this stuff. Like
my brother was like that. Uncle Rudy had a CDs like, but he had tapes too, and they used to sell these little wooden like racks. Just small little wood, and the cassette would fit
I remember
right in there,
that.
perfect.
Yep.
Fit like 15 or 20 cassettes in there.
That's crazy.
With the cover, you know. You put, and he'd have like 10 of those things. You know, full. And,
I remember those too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man,
So.
thank God for Apple, huh? Changing the game.
Yes.
They did. I know.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. So no, that was that just interested me. I just wanted to go back there and talk about it. So, did you guys say you have a question about the
No, I
parade?
forgot. I think I was just gonna make fun of you and that.
Oh, okay.
But I don't remember.
Hey, and I will say, go ahead.
What time is the parade? I
It
wanna know. That might have been an
is-
off-air question.
It's pretty much all day. I know it ends at like 7 or 7:30.
Okay, so it's in the
But
afternoon.
it is pretty much all day.
Like,
It
yeah.
is.
And that was for Best Made Pickles?
Best Made Pickles.
Is that a
Best
company?
Made Pickles. Yeah, that's
Yep.
a company.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a local
Yep.
company.
They have it as the 18th and the 19th. And let's see what the schedule is. Because it's pickleparade.org. Is Pickle do food vendors. Yeah.
They probably got some good
I
food out
totally stalled the show.
there. Right, yeah, you did.
I'm so
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, don't worry about it. The 18th and 19th. But yeah, that
All
is
right.
it. It
Well,
looks.
Christian will have to get out
Sorry,
there and
guys.
get some
That's
fried
Sorry
okay.
about that.
So today, it is noon to 9, and then tomorrow it's like 7 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. At least that's when the shuttle stops running. I don't know when they actually cut off festivities or whatever, but today and tomorrow.
Interesting. All right.
Yeah,
That might-
yeah. Might have to
Go
get
ahead,
out
Dad.
there. So.
Grab the mic. You know, there's a couple different stages now that I know you sing.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
You gotta recruit him. You gotta
There you
recruit
go.
this guy.
There you go. No, my singing days are over. You know? I'm retired.
They're never over.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
That's true.
I retired. I took my Grammy and I put it on the shelf.
You've done your
And,
duty.
yeah, I'm done. I'm done. You know. So no, I wanted to touch base on that,
Okay.
and then what else did you say you had going on? You were
Just
I
the
had a question.
boys. I moved here from California.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
California. What part of
Cali.
California were you from?
Northern California. So my
Northern.
hometown is Seaside, but most people know Monterey or Pebble Beach or Carmel.
Whoa.
So yeah, that
She
area.
lived in the nice area.
Yeah, it is nice and really, really expensive.
Yes.
So,
yes.
our story as far as getting to Texas was that after we got married and we wanted to start having more kids, we were like, well, we should buy a house. And actually, that was the first time I had been introduced to KB Homes because
Okay, yeah.
was a military base, Fort Ord, if anybody's familiar with that. That
heard
was
of it,
the
yeah.
that was the Army base. So once became deactivated as a military base, they started building homes and letting civilians like rent out apartments and things that they were building there. So in
Oh,
a
wow.
certain section, KB Homes had bought some land, and initially it was starting out where the homes were going to be like low income, like 350,000 is what they were supposed to be. When it was all said and done with the building, they were like $7-8 million like for the homes or whatever. So we were definitely priced out, and so that was the first time I realized how expensive California was, because growing up there I didn't, you just
normal.
roll with it,
Yeah,
I
that's
didn't really,
true.
and
Very
I
true.
hadn't, let me see, I had lived with my mom for a pretty long time, and then I did venture out on my own, and then Stevie and I, we actually did it backwards. We did start living together before we got married. So that was kind of the first time of really having to assess, like, finances and things like that. So
Yeah.
then we wanted to own. And yeah, we couldn't afford to own. And so I was born in Atlanta, but didn't, grow up there and had some family. So I was like, well, what about Atlanta? And my husband ex-nayed that like right away. I don't really know why. And then we had some church members say, have you ever heard of Arlington, Texas? And I was just like, mm-mm. And so we looked into it. My husband bought into a janitorial franchise in the corporate headquarters were like in Irving, Las Colinas area.
Oh, okay.
So when we came out to visit is when I just kind of fell in love with, just kind of the Dallas Fort Worth area, and we just been here ever since. So
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't realize how much I miss California until I go visit.
Yeah.
So when I go back, I'm like, oh my gosh, it is really pretty, and
Yeah.
the water is just
water.
right there. And I didn't really access a ton of what's here when I was growing up because it was just normal. Like I did do the beach, the wharf, Santa Cruz Beach and Boardwalk, things like that, but I didn't realize just how beautiful it is until leaving. Now the things that I love about Texas was cost of living. Obviously, I only planned on, well, I don't know. I didn't really have a number for kids, but they started getting closer in age, and my husband's number was 8, and I'm like, I don't think I can do 8. And he comes from a big family. I come from a small family, so I am attracted to bigger families, but I didn't want to have them all. So I was done at 3, and then Jeremiah made his way into the world as well as number 4, and I was done at that point. But that was the thing that attracted me to Texas, was just kind of education. Where we were in Northern California, it wasn't as great as the opportunities. As the opportunities were here in Texas. Mansfield ISD was promoted to us. I did some research and I really liked it. And then again, the affordability. I mean, like our first house was like $135,000. So,
Wow.
that was pretty amazing. Especially after you looked at $1 million homes, and this was more square footage and things like that. So the education system, and then just the sports culture, because it was so different than California as well, because where we were at, if you keep going further north, you run into like San Jose, Oakland, San Francisco.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where, I mean, we had some local athletes that did do some big things as well, but it just, you had to, I don't know. It was just a little bit different. It felt like here, just the sports culture, at least
big,
in our
yeah,
area.
it's
I mean, it's
so
just crazy.
different.
Like you can get a bowling scholarship, fishing scholarships. Like it's crazy. I'm like, oh, okay. So it was the cost of living. Obviously, my husband being able to start a business. So that was, and the culture. Like, funny story in regards to how I found my church. They have billboards like off of 287, and they had one off of Cooper. And of course I knew about Potter's House, but my church coming from home was pretty small. And, you kind of knew everybody, and I had just heard things in regards to Potter's House. Like, you didn't really talk to TD Jakes or whatever, get that one-on-one. And I don't know if it's true. It was just what I heard. So I was, like, avoiding Bethlehem. We call it BBC for short. Avoiding it because I'm like, I don't want to go to the Billboard Church. I'm certain it has to be, like, a mega church. It's huge. Like, no. So me getting lost in Texas because we didn't have, GPS and stuff that much when we first got here. I had saw a church like on a weekday, and I was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna make sure to go back to that church on Sunday." Could not find it, and I'm like had my boys in the car with me. I'm pregnant. It's hot. Had brought my niece when we moved here, so we're like just trying to find a church. And so I'm like, darn it, we're just gonna go to the Billboard Church because I know where it is because they have a billboard. And so when
Marketing,
you go, right? So when you go, it's like you almost feel like you're getting lost because when we first moved here, it was still a lot of rural parts. Mansfield has just really blown up in the last 17 years. So when you go down Broad, like you didn't even have some of the houses they have now. So I'm like driving, I'm feeling lost. And then we pull up, and it was in our smaller sanctuary because we have a gymnatorium now as well. So I went to first service, and when I tell you I cried, I boohooed like the whole service because it was just like being at home. And Pastor Evans didn't even preach that first Sunday, like he was somewhere else. So I didn't even get to like meet him or know I knew who he was, but I didn't meet him until like second Sunday or whatever that we went back. But I've never left. So we've been members since we've been here. So like 17 years, we've been members at the same church, and it's been, I mean, and as and his motto is like the bigger it gets, the smaller he wants it to feel. So that's why I had mentioned I'm part of the First Friends ministry. So as we get new members, you go through several weeks of these different classes. And the first one that I'm in, First Friends, it teaches you well, it's like a couple of weeks of it, and pastor comes in the last 2 weeks and actually teaches the class so that he can be face to face with new members, learn names, learn faces. So it's pretty awesome. So that was another thing, just finding a church home that where you just felt loved, like right when you walked in, and that there was just no, it was just, I mean, it's just been great. So that's the thing. I mean, I never look back like, oh, gosh, sorry, hands.
Those hands
Big old hands you got.
Right. But so as much as I, you know, when I go to California, I know I'm where I'm supposed to be. But you know, I got 4 more years with Jeremiah because he'll be, you know, a freshman next year, and then I'll have some options to explore if need be. Now, where that will be, I don't know, but and we may still be here, but you know, options.
Freedom.
Very true. Very true. So you said, who's the pastor? You said Evans?
Michael Evans.
Oh, Michael Evans. Okay. When you said Evans, I started thinking of Tony Evans.
Oh,
Just that
no.
popped
Yeah,
in my
he
head,
has,
but
yeah,
I
another
know he
church.
has one out here somewhere.
Right. Yep.
Out
I
here
know
too.
of his church as well, but nope, not him.
Okay. Another Evans.
Yes.
All right. No, it's cool. Yeah, California's. We're from Bakersfield. I don't know if you ever
Oh, yeah.
heard of it,
Yep,
but
yep.
that's where
We
we're
used to have
from.
our, funny enough, our church picnics there.
in Bakersfield.
In Bakersfield, yeah, we would like get a church bus and we would all go to like the Bakersfield area because I remember it's a lot hotter than it was where we were. We
Yeah.
used to look forward to it like, ooh, we get to be really hot. But yep, they were like in the Bakersfield area. Yep.
Oh wow, that's a small world, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so we're from from that area, but yeah, same with us. If we would, go to the beach or whatever, that's the thing that I miss most is the beach, the mountains. Is not that I was a mountain person, but just
Right.
seen them, and then an hour and a half from the central, like Pismo, Morro Bay, that area. That's one we would go to.
Yeah,
Okay.
Morro Bay's my
Yeah, I've
favorite.
heard of
Yeah, love that place. I never really got up to the northern part a lot, but Monterey. You hear about Monterey, and I actually never made it. Came close to going one time, but we never made it.
Oh
there.
yeah,
But,
you should visit.
yeah, if we were going to the beach, it was either right there in Pismo, Morro Bay, or where else did we go? Ventura, Santa Monica.
Okay.
That area. up
Yeah,
there.
my husband's
So-
from LA, so he has a lot of family still in LA.
Okay.
But he grew up more so because I met him the summer before our freshman year in high school. But I think he did his, I don't know that he did elementary in Seaside, but he would be back and forth a lot. So he had friends, but LA was where he has a lot of memories as well.
Yeah. I don't want to be there.
Right.
But I wish it was easier to get there just to go to the beach.
Right.
Because we could go an hour and a half. And just like on any day, like any weekend, just like, we're going to go to the beach and hang out all day. And if we didn't want to stay or didn't have the money to stay, we'd just come back home. So that was always nice. But can't do that here.
I know,
you
that's the
No.
crazy thing because I've never been to Galveston. So like when people say going to the beach, which I know I hear it's not really even like a beach, but
That's what I hear too.
Galveston. Because what is that, like a couple hours, right?
It's like 4 hours. I
Yeah,
think, 4
so
or
a
5
few hours to get there. So that's the thing. Like where we stayed in Seaside, 10, 15 minutes and you were getting to the
So
beach.
nice.
Like, yep. Depending
Wow.
on like what section you wanted to be on and stuff like that. Like, it spoiled for sure. I
Wow.
just didn't even.
Jealous.
So did you still have family there?
Yeah, we do have family there. Not my mom passed away Isaiah's senior year, so I don't have her. My dad is still there. I have a adopted dad who's the pastor from my church from there, and then I have my biological dad, but he's on the East Coast, so I still have my dad there. And then my husband, who was raised by his grandparents, they both they passed away in 19 and 20, I think. So we do have family and friends, but not like our parents where we would go. Like my mother-in-law moved here, so a lot of family is like kind of starting to migrate more to Texas versus us having to go there.
Yeah.
So
Makes sense.
Then my brother-in-law, he's like in San Diego. My sister's in Vegas. My other sister is East Coast, like Maryland. So we're like,
Man, all spread out.
yeah, got options, if I want to travel.
There you go. There you
Yeah.
go. No, that's awesome. That's cool. Yeah, we took us a little bit to make Texas home.
Okay.
A couple years when we got here, just kind of like we'd always talk about going back to California. And then we tried. And then one time when we went, it was like, I don't want to be here. So
Right. Yeah,
got
it's
came back
different.
to Texas. Yeah, I really enjoy Texas and the people, the atmosphere, the culture, like what you said. It's just totally different.
I know, and I
so.
didn't realize. Christian talked about, I think, a brother when we first met. We didn't we talked about a lot of stuff, but I was listening to one of the previous podcast episodes before episode 6 or 7, whichever one we're on. No, just kidding.
I don't know.
Just kidding. But I found out you have 6 kids, so I didn't even realize you were, one of 6. I don't think.
Yeah, oldest of 6.
Yeah. Oh,
So, yeah,
see, maybe we did have that because I'm the youngest of 3 from my mom, so I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know if we had that convo.
We probably did. But yeah, we just literally for like 3 hours walked around talking
I know.
about everything.
We did.
Yeah,
Well, that's cool.
but it was cool.
That is awesome.
Big
Yeah.
family.
All right. Well, we will make a transition here because we got like 15 or 20 minutes left. So,
Okay.
in regards to real estate, we'll transition it over. What are you doing right now? Anything specific? Do you have a kind of a a niche area that you're working, or anything that you're working on in particular? This is the time to kind of just self-promote.
Right. Which I'm horrible at. I have got to get a better UVP. Okay, I'm gonna figure it out. But I really
good.
don't have one. I want to say first-time home buyers are my passion. I don't know if that's really considered a niche because really anybody that I work with, education is seriously the biggest thing for me. Education, communication, professionalism, just having systems to follow. So I don't know if that's really considered a niche just because I really like people, and the ultimate goal, like I was stating earlier, is really just making sure that they are well taken care of. I want to be the source of the source. I want you to have resources. If for whatever may come up, I want to be able to at least refer you to someone to try to help out. I don't want the just one and done, type of situation. So that's really big to me, to try to just have those relationships with people and making sure that they're not house poor. I don't want that. So that would just ruin my conscience. You know what I mean? To be knowing, okay, well, they got into it. That's what they wanted to do. You know what I mean? So even with the financial consultant that I had mentioned earlier, if I get somebody who is ready to go right now and, and we can get them into the house, I'm still going to refer them to that consultant because, again, with lenders, which I love, that it's really about getting you mortgage qualified. It's not just changing your life. And I feel like that's the other piece that the financial consultant brings. So I'm pretty excited about that partnership.
Does that consultant, is he also doing lending, or is he just
No,
doing
he has just 20 plus years in the financial consulting business or realm or whatever. So he does do a complimentary consultation with you, and that only takes about 15 minutes to start and to determine what the next steps need to be. So initially it's about 15 minutes, and then once it's determined what you need to do, then that may take about an hour. But again, it's still all complimentary. What it is really, which is not too much different from what I do, is providing you with the necessary information, and then you have to do the work. There's people I come in contact with all the time where I have credit repair partners as well, because sometimes you just need that's what you need to do, but I can only lead you to the water, can't make you drink.
Yeah.
So that's the big thing for me, is providing you with that information, and then I can't be more invested and enthusiastic than you are, so I want to be able to be that resource, but ultimately it's going to take that dedication and consistency. I'm speaking to myself in regards to social media, but it's going to take that, to get you into that house. And so for me right now, with this particular market where it's been so tough for people to compete, that's where I felt like this financial piece was huge, because even if I have someone who maybe we can get your situation assessed, and it's okay, well, in 6 months, if you do make these few changes or whatever, you'll have an extra $5,000. So even if you are an FHA buyer and you started out with no money to compete with these other offers, and in 6 months we have $5,000 saved up, well, that puts you in a different bracket than other FHA buyers who can't offer anything additional. And I say FHA because they've been having it pretty tough.
Yeah.
So, I just want to try to think outside of the box with that and be able to give people other options. So it's it's not a no, it's just a, not right now. And then, but even with the not right now, you're not just sitting there okay, I hope the market changes in 6 months. Because, none of us know what it's going to do. But while you're waiting, if you can be putting yourself in the strongest position where even maybe you no longer need. darn it, where you no longer need down payment assistance. I know, which I'm a fan of down payment assistance, but obviously with down payment assistance comes the higher interest rates and things like that. So I want to be able to put people in positions where you're getting the best rates, the best terms, all of that, and then you understand what that means beyond, home ownership. Because if you're able to put yourself in a great position to buy a home, then okay, maybe it's a car next or whatever the case may be. So that's really my focus, is just putting you in the best position, I guess. That's my niche. There you go. No, just kidding. I don't know.
Well, and I think educating your clients is the utmost thing. My dad would always say, and I probably said on this show before, I say it all the time, he would always say that throughout his day in real estate, whatever he was doing for his clients, that his goal was to be able to lay his head down at night and know that he'd done the best job possible for his clients. And sometimes things don't work out. Sometimes that's not the right move, and the client doesn't always want to hear that, because we all as clients want the best of everything. We want that champagne house, with where they say beer money. But I think it is good, because you're not just putting them in a house. It's because that's for you. If you I just put them in a house and I got my commission, then you sold a house, but did you do them a good deed?
Right.
Did you really help them, or a disservice? In a year or two, are they going to come back and say, "Hey, I lost the home because I couldn't afford it. The interest rate was climbed and it went up. First it was this much, and then all of a sudden, and I think I've heard agents say, not here but years ago, where it was just like, well, we'll put you in this home and the interest rate's this much, or the payment's this much, and a couple of years variable interest rate, it's going to go up, but by that time you'll be in a better place and you have a better job, and that all sounds good, and we would hope that that's the way life works, but life doesn't always work like that. So all of a sudden you're paying $1,000 a month, and then in 2 years you're in it changes and it's $1,500 a month. Well, that $500 a month, and your job hasn't gotten better.
Right.
Maybe you lost the job.
Right.
And things have just changed, whatever in life. So here again, now you're in a place where, man, I can't afford this home, and it's become more of a detriment to me than
absolutely
than a plus. So.
I know. And then with that, what you mentioned there about the fear of if something happens, you loss of a job, or if you're married and a spouse, God forbid, passes away, that's also a piece of the financial consultant's plan, is to have a plan in place where if something like that were to happen, to where you're still able to maintain that home or maintain those payments. So it's literally like just looking at your entire financial picture and getting a blueprint to making sure, or at least putting the best plan in place. And as long as you follow it, then you have that set up. I mean, it's debt reduction, it's emergency fund, it's emergency fund, and then short-term savings, which could be saving for your down payment. And so people don't know what they don't know, and that's the gap that I try to fill. It's like you get inundated with, rent prices are, rent is going up, now's a great time to buy, and things like that. And so people do get excited, and I always talk about it's sad, the sad truth, I'll say, because just because you get approved for a mortgage still doesn't mean that you can actually buy a house. So that's the reality of it. So I want to be able to, like I said, fill in that gap. Like, okay, well, maybe you were approved, but would it be smarter to have a plan where we're doing something for 6 months to a year if need be, and you're in that much better of a position to purchase a home, and not only purchase it, but maintain it and all of that. Because when you own a home, you don't know what's going to happen as far as maintenance and just life and things like that. So that would help me sleep if somebody were to take advantage of what I'm offering.
Yeah.
No, very true. I was at Hariba, give a little plug.
All right, Hariba.
Or Reba. Some say Reba, some say Hariba. I think
people
I
that say Reba is wrong.
No, I don't know.
Are they? Well, we're wrong. No, I don't know. I don't know what I say. I just read it all the time. I never really have to pronounce it.
I think I say Hariba, but it's probably wrong. But anyways, shout out to Reba. I was at their luncheon yesterday, and so they were talking about.
I'm so sorry. He said I say Hariba, and then he said shout out to Reba.
You got scared, huh?
Whatever the name is.
I said both.
I'm
covered.
in, yeah.
Reba.
Okay, you went where yesterday?
Yeah, so they were talking about HUD Homes and the Good Neighbor program, which I think My dad sold a lot of HUD homes, and also did the Good Neighbor program. So I don't know if you know what anything
Yeah, I have to
about
educate
that.
myself more on that. I do
Yeah.
know about HUD homes. I have not sold one.
Okay.
Yeah.
But even those things, like those are little niche, areas where, again, you're educating the client that there's not just new homes, there's not just that, there's all kinds of ways and programs out there, and I think that's a huge plus as a realtor that it's what. If you're a good realtor, I think you're doing that. You're educating them and showing them all the options.
Right.
It's called Officer Next Door years ago, but the Good Neighbor program that's going on now are HUD homes that are in revitalized areas.
Okay.
That they're trying to bring the area up again, and so they open it to police officers. I think any emergency service, firefighters, teachers. I think first responders. But basically, you get a home, and you can get a home in a designated area for 50% off.
Oh wow.
So you're
That's
literally
crazy.
coming and getting that house 50% discount.
Okay.
The stipulation is you have to stay in it. I believe it's 3 years.
Okay.
So when you get it, you have to live in it 3 years, and then do whatever you want to do. But you're walking in with a ton of equity.
Absolutely.
My dad
That's
would
crazy.
sell those homes, and I remember, he would have to. You do a little more studying. It's a lottery system. It's a little different contract, or a different contract altogether. Than
Yeah, I
what
think
you
that
normally
lottery
use.
system was a thing where I was like, ooh, I don't have anybody patient enough for.
Yeah,
you know,
but man, when you sell them, and I remember he would just it caught like wildfire, with one officer, and then that officer went back and told his buddies at the police department or wherever, sheriff's department, hey, I just got a home for 50% off.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden my dad would have people start calling him. So,
Nice.
but it's all those little niche markets where you can go
Oh, I
in
do
and
like
find.
that.
But again, the education of what you can do and helping the clients see the vision of
Well, I will
home.
say, and that's awesome because I am going to make sure I look more into that because I do want to have those resources. I have worked with clients who have utilized, who are okay with going outside of the box and utilizing some of the programs. I don't know if you've heard of like Divvy Homes, Ribbon Homes, Home Partners of America. So it's that program where they're actually purchasing the home for cash on behalf of the buyer, and then you
Yeah.
buy it back from them. So with all of them, you have, well, no, not all of them. With Divvy and with Divvy and Home Partners, you have up to 3 years to purchase the home back. Divvy, I don't know, well, Texas doesn't really do rent to own, but with them, they do split it for math's sake, like 75-25, the rent that you're paying. 75 goes to them and 25 goes into a savings account. So when you're ready to repurchase it, then you've saved up your down payment. So that's a
pretty
good
cool.
program. And then Ribbon, they're just like Home Partners of America, where your rent is just your rent. I mean, they're running it as a business, but you do with them, you only have you can purchase it back at any time as quickly as possible with the they give you 6 months. Up to 6 months is what they give you, but with FHA you can't purchase it back until the 7th month, which a lot of people don't know. As an FHA borrower, if you are buying back from your landlord, there's some stipulations where you have to wait until the 7th month unless you meet some other criteria. So just something to know.
Okay.
But anyway, there's just some programs out there that are non-traditional that are trying to help those who don't have people to be able to compete with this market.
Yeah.
So, those people who don't have the extra money to offer over, or do an appraisal waiver or whatever the case may be, you can come in as a cash buyer, but just knowing, it's a business, so you may have to pay a little bit of a higher rent, but you can own that home. So that I've done a few times, and it's been a pretty good experience. One of my clients, we purchased 2021. She's in the process of repurchasing and just had her appraisal done, and she has $31,000 in equity from a year ago already.
Wow.
Not
Yep.
bad.
Yep.
Not bad at all.
Yep. So pretty excited, to be able to have that testimonial. So, and it was, and she had to be, I explained the program to her. I brought lending partners in to have them review it to get it, so she understood, what was going on, and she did. And we, took that leap of faith, and the offer got accepted, and it was, it was a good deal. Smooth transaction.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, give us your information on where you're working, your numbers, your podcast, what you're doing.
Yeah.
Promote all that right now. If you got a few minutes
A
left.
few minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
It is no, I'm just kidding.
And if you want, sing a song too.
Sing us your information.
No way. No, I'm still shy. Even though it's been so many
She's
years.
like, I don't got my robe.
I don't. I need the power of the road. Well, I am real Latrice Womack on everything that, except for I haven't gotten a TikTok just yet. But Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, it's Realtor Latrice Womack. That's where I do a lot of my educational videos is on YouTube, but I post, quite a few things on social media as well. My direct number is 682-422-7264. The braces are fighting me. My email, latrice@latricewomack.com, website, latricewomack.com. So it's pretty hard to miss me because everything is my name.
There you go.
Like your photo.
Yeah,
There you go.
But
Faces.
everything is my name. I'm always willing to have a conversation. My office is in Mansfield. Again, I'm with TD Realty, and I don't mind having that initial conversation. And my big thing is let's put a plan and a process in place so that I can help you to be successful. It's a partnership all around. So
Yeah,
I
for
appreciate the opportunity, guys.
Awesome. Well, we also want to say too that we're starting to work more on the FST media is to promote. So anything that you have, that if you have a listing, if you have a program, if you have some something to promote, send it to Christian, and we'll definitely put it up on our social media platforms.
Absolutely.
We're starting to do that right now. We're even listening. Hey, check out this listing. Everything we're doing on this side, even the podcast, is to promote the agent. So we always joke about like we got that. We're like, are we promoting ourselves or are we promoting them?
I'm gonna go with yourself. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
We're gonna promote you guys, but we're gonna be right in the background.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So actually, we've been doing that, and I was telling Christian, I had a client email me earlier. He's like, hey, can you help promote this one too? So that's where we really want to go with the show. And at the same time, what we're doing is trying to just show the agents, lenders that we work with, like this. It's this easy. Just do it.
Right.
And like you said, the consistency thing. Yeah, we started it.
It's hard.
And we were like, oh, this is going to be fun. And then all of a sudden.
Then you overthink it.
Yeah, well, then it became work.
Yes, that's what I was saying. It's a lot of work.
It
You
is
just
a lot
don't
of
know.
work.
Because even my podcast with my best friend, like that one, it is like pulling teeth, like getting our schedules together. And then like, what topic are we going to touch? It was just supposed to be banter between besties. And I mean, we are like... Sometimes we are on the struggle bus.
Yeah. Banter between besties.
Banter between besties.
Oh, that's good.
I like
Yeah,
this one.
so-
Yeah.
Subscribe.
Yeah, that one's crazy.
Yeah, I'll subscribe too.
Thank
Let
you.
us know, and we'll follow, and we'll just work on promoting it. So, well, we enjoyed having you.
Thank you.
Before we end, we have some treats here for you. This little last segment of the show is sponsored by
Sweet Sins.
Sweet Sins Treats. So
No
there
thanks,
are
no, I'm
some
just playing.
treats.
I'm just kidding. Thank
And-
you.
Heard your
And,
club stories.
Yeah, so we
I
got the
appreciate
card.
it.
There's a
Oh,
card in there.
strawberries, yay.
If you are looking, they do cupcakes and cakes and cookies and all kinds of stuff for your clients if you're interested. So we
And
wanted
who
to
was
give
it
you
again?
Sweet Sins Treats
Sweet
is the
Sins
company.
Treats. Okay.
They have their
so-
card in there.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
there's a card in there for you. So give them a call and want to give them a shout out.
Thank
Sweet
you.
Sins Treats. And
Their
Latrice-
last name is Sin.
Oh, got
Yeah,
it.
that's the
Oh,
last
I
name.
know a Sin as well, Angie.
Yeah.
And she's in Title, I think, too.
No, we don't talk about her.
We don't-
So
My bad.
That's who
delete
you've been
that,
sending them
delete
to.
that.
Edit that out,
Scratch
please.
that.
Alec, remove that.
Wondering why I haven't had a deal come through.
No, I love Texas Secure Title.
All right. Yes, and so do we. No,
Yeah,
Latrice,
you guys do a
thanks
good
so
job.
much
Yeah,
for
thank
coming
you.
on. We enjoyed having you. We'll share all this with you and promote and share, and we'll look to do it again.
Okay, yep.
We'll
Thank
try.
you. I appreciate you guys' time.
All right. Thanks so much. We'll see you
Thank
guys
you.
next week.
See you next week.
All done? Yeah? Good?
Yeah.
All right.
Done.
Well,